Did you know that nearly 70% of relationship problems stem from common but often ignored behaviors? Today, I'll be exposing 3 of those critical things that may be seriously undermining your relationship. These are things we must absolutely stop doing. If you haven't paid attention to anything else in my previous videos, don't let this one slip by. It could be the key to transforming your love life forever. Marriage and everything in between. Subscribe. Welcome or welcome back to Sharon's Love Lab, where we talk about relationships, parenting, marriage, and lots more. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. It's just down there, and like this video so others can benefit from these amazing things we'll be talking about today. Now, these crucial bad habits are often overlooked habits that you don't realize are causing you harm in your relationship, so you really need to hear them. There are 3 of them I'll be discussing today. There's more, but these 3 are most prevalent, and that's why I've chosen them to talk about today, so just stay tuned and listen. The first one is comparison. Here's what I mean. Now, imagine you're content in your relationship, but then you sit down maybe with a friend that starts telling you wonderful things about her husband. Maybe he buys her gifts or does something particularly thoughtful. Suddenly, you just start to compare yourself with this your friend, and then the contentment you once felt begins to fade. You might even start feeling resentment towards your partner for not doing some of these things that you have heard your friend talk about. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you shouldn't aspire for a better relationship. After all, that's why I started this channel, to help you enhance your relationship and boost your confidence. It's natural to want more, but there's a healthier way of going about it. Instead of going back to your partner and harboring resentment, try finding constructive ways to encourage the kind of love you desire. You know your partner better than anyone else, so use that to your advantage. I actually have a video on how to get him to treat you like a princess. I'll be leaving the link in the description, so you might want to check that out if you want to learn some of the tactics in making him treat you the way you would like. In that video, I broke down all the tips you need to get the love you deserve without falling into the comparison trap. I know it's kind of tempting to look at what others have and feel like you're missing out, but remember why you fell in love with your partner in the first place. Focus on those good qualities that made you choose him instead of dwelling on what might be lacking. It's okay to wish for things, but don't let comparison steal your joy. That's what I'm trying to say. So comparison is destructive. It's like trying to use the wrong remote for your TV. What works for one person may not work for you. Let's work on building a love in our relationship in a more positive and constructive way. The second thing that can seriously harm your relationship is that we tend to mother our husbands or our partners. Let me make this clear. You're not his mother, and you can never replace that role. Your role is different. You are his partner, his girlfriend, or his wife. When you start mothering him, you can remind him of his own mother, and you take him back to those days where he had to do everything he was told to do. Men value their freedom so much. It's something they cherish deeply, and when you take that mothering role, you're taking him back to the time when he was told to do this and that. No one wants to feel like they're being controlled or being caged, especially men who generally struggle more with being told what to do. So when you mother him, you're not only pushing him further away, you're also teaching him to rely on you for everything. I've mentioned this quite a number of times in my previous videos. This can create an unhealthy dynamic in your relationship, and where he becomes dependent on you rather than stepping up and taking responsibility for the family. Trust me, you don't want to add your husband to the list of people you have to mother. It's exhausting. If you're already a mother or you're aspiring to be, don't do this. If you have children or you plan to, focus on being a good mother to them, not to your husband. Remember, mothering your husband will only push him further away and leave you drained and full of regrets. The more you ignore his attempts to assert his independence, the more he'll question whether you love him, and that can lead to a cycle of him trying to bring you back in unhealthy ways. So everyone wants to feel loved, including him. So sometimes showing a little nonchalance can even be more effective in getting the results you want than mothering him. If you're getting value so far, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video. So without wasting much of your time, let's go back into the points. The third issue is making assumptions. This cannot be overemphasized. For example, you might see a movie or see a quote or something about suggesting that a man who acts in a certain way is unfaithful or is a liar, and then you start jumping into conclusions. If your husband begins spending more time, for example, with his friends, you might suddenly think that he's losing interest or cheating. However, he may genuinely be engaged in activities for personal growth or simply need some space for valid reasons. Reacting impulsively and behaving dramatically to uncover the truth can harm your relationship. So I urge you to practice patience and maturity in these situations to avoid jeopardizing the good relationship based on unfounded fears. So it's really important not to jump into conclusions. You need to be sure of whatever you're doing and don't react so rashly, act in a way that you would later regret. Be sure of your facts before you present them, and always present them constructively so you do not end up hurting yourself at the end of the day. To recap, stop comparing, stop mothering, and stop unnecessary assumptions. You need to avoid comparing your relationship with others, so focus on appreciating your partner's unique qualities and enhancing your relationship positively. Don't act like a mother in his life. Try to support his independence and don't jump into conclusions about your partner's behavior. Practice patience and avoid reacting impulsively. If you can work on these three things, you will see a significant positive change in your relationship. And if you find yourself constantly falling into these habits, take drastic measures. Watch this video repeatedly until it fully sinks and you start seeing changes. Like I said earlier, these three habits stand out, but there's more to explore, so please share them in the comments. I hope you found them helpful. Do subscribe, share this video with others. Thank you so much for watching. Ciao.